Okay, so a couple things. When we're talking about sticking, just move Jerry, whatever, right? If I'm sticking with Jerry, all right, sticking is sticking. I'm sticking to one place on his arms, not pushing, not whatever. I'm still staying unavailable, but I'm sticking with my little antennas, right? Not using my thumbs, keeping them out of the way, and doing all this. Sliding is kind of the opposite of sticking. I'm not saying sliding is bad, it's perfectly appropriate in many circumstances, but if Jerry's moving and I'm sliding, if you notice, I wasn't actually sticking to his motion, okay? It is possible for me to stick to his motion and then slide in order to move in on his body or something like that. That's perfectly fine. Just realize that if you're just doing contact flow and you're trying to stay unavailable and stick to what's going on, if I'm sliding along here, I may not be actually sticking with what his motion is, okay? Now, with the idea of using all parts of the body as if they were hands to stick here, relax. This is coming up here. Use your chest as a hand. Just relax. So like if this hand were here and like trying to slide up to here, if I make my chest kind of hard as if I'm trying to like block this away, slide right up, punch me in the chin, and punch. Oh, right? It's your lucky day. Okay, if I keep my chest soft like a hand, okay, so you see that, right? I continue to move with it. In this case, Jerry was very overcommitted, so it just went off. I tool replaced here to the shoulder. If Jerry's being very available, I can use this, pop, pop, pop. If Jerry's being very loose and not available, now I need to continue sticking. Right now, don't confuse it. Right, so from here, if I were hard here, but Jerry's not being available, all he does is skip right over this, right? Or even like, you know, if I'm pushing on this and boom, that can just snap right off there. Remember like all the suspend and release stuff John shows on the new video where he just has a little bit of tension, bang, 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 and that just sends it into motion. Or here, Jerry resists a little, boom, and that just like loads his whole body up to go in. So likewise, I want to make sure that I'm not giving Jerry tension to either use or load up on. If I feel he's very available and I have his balance here, again, I should be able to do this with no real effort. Be real strong, Jerry. If I'm kind of pushing into him and this takes a lot of effort, that's bullshit, right? If it takes effort, it's bullshit, right? But if, you know, like as John explained, if I can maybe come from a slightly different angle, lift him a little, then that was much easier, right? But, again, when I'm sticking with the body, if Jerry, for example, just wants to lift this up and do that, I don't want to just make a hard chest as if it's going to shield my neck. Because no, anything that's hard, what do you do with hard stuff? You just follow it along and hit people, right? So instead, as this is coming up, right, I just move with all this. Maybe pass it onto my chest, shoulder, whatever. Okay, anything that's coming in here, right, I just stay fluid with it, just as if this were my hand. Okay, if I were using my hand to stick, I wouldn't do this, because I would know that he'll be able to immediately just lose that and do that. If he tries to do that now, right, because I'm moving with it freely in an unavailable fashion, right? If Jerry were to now push into this, now push into my shoulder, right? If you notice, I'm not making it available to him, as opposed to he's pushing into my shoulder. Okay? So any part of your body can become like your hand, unavailable and yet unavoidable, able to stick with stuff, not just slide, not just block, but actually stick. Kind of show a little of this all at once. And again, it's all just a piece of stuff. It's not like I want you to go into a fight saying, come on! All right? Although that would be funny.
I do it.
Okay? But I'm just saying, like, as we're moving here, it might so happen. If he's touching me here, I want to be able to move with that. If there's contact here, I want to be able to move with that. If I'm fighting with Ken over here, remember a cool thing about shoulders and chests and backs is that they're always right next to your neck. So if Ken's over here and Jerry's like blasting me from the side, right? Whoa, that might be useful someday. Okay? All right? Maybe not ideal, but maybe useful. So keep that in mind. So when you're doing, for example, you're washing the body, remember it goes both ways, right? This isn't just hand threatening, shoulder get out of the way. You know, it's just like you're all just doing it, you know, when you just do washing the body with your own hands, most people don't need to do much, it's kind of obvious, right? It goes both ways, right? Have that same feeling here. If Ken's doing washing the body to me, same deal. I'm yielding and I'm sticking. Okay, nice and relaxed. Not forcing, not bullying. Go again, Ken. Right? Not this, because keep moving, Ken. Boom. There goes that. Okay, but similar thing. Boom. Right? And in reality, if you think about it now, if I'm able to do all this stuff with my body, very easy now to free my arms, because now, even if it looks like I'm not sticking per se, because both my hands are freaking destroying him, because look what's happening here. If Ken tries to do anything to me in this moment, I'm still feeling it all. Right? Yeah, I might not be sticking on his hand, but look right here. Is there anything Ken can do with his body that I'm not going to feel? I actually am still feeling both sides of his body too. Again, theoretically, you want your sensitivity good enough that from like one fingertip anywhere on his body, I can feel what his whole body is doing. All right, nice work if you can get it. It's even safer if you have like a more substantial sticking tool, like more information coming in, like a wider bandwidth cable. Like on both sides of the body. Because I mean, let's put it this way: if it were me, if it were I, if I were here, can you feel this, Ken? Through this? You probably can a little, and that's good. And as you get more sensitive, you absolutely will. But would you want to defend your life on that, or would it be more comfortable to actually have something sticking over here too? Right? Probably. So likewise, whatever's going on here, I'm sticking. Whatever he does, being unavailable. If he's pushing in here, being unavailable, and I'm continuing to move with it. And if he does something to my body here, I continue to move, stick with it. And what that can also do then is free my arms to do good stuff, because look, I can feel him here, I can feel him here. If he survives this and tries to do anything to me, very easy to remain unavailable to it and move in. Does that answer your question about sticking versus not sticking?
Absolutely.
So my advice would be stick as much as you freaking can, but sticking is not this. Sticking is not controlling or being rigid or anything like that. Sticking is simply having contact in a way that is totally flexible and antenna-like. And again, even in the middle of pulverizing people, I'm totally still sticking here. Okay? Because quite frankly, if I suddenly didn't have contact with him and I wanted to pulverize him, pulverize me. That's probably what's going to happen. Okay? Even if I'm already pulverizing him, but his hands are totally free, so don't even touch my arms or anything. Now pulverize me. Ugh, right? Not a good situation. But, you know, if I'm sticking, I have this here. Again, this isn't blocking. If he starts to try to do something with this to me, I'm going to be riding it, I'm going to be moving with it. Boom. And again, even this, I'm not holding on for dear life. My hand's just here. He breaks out of this, I'm going to be moving with it, right? Wherever I can.
Cool, well, let's cover it.